You see, so we have to build this temple, but this temple is not a temple made with hands. It's not a physical building. You know, this is a spiritual build. Jesus called Peter the rock on whom the church will be built. You see, in another place, Peter himself said, "We are all lively stones." You see, what are we lively stones in? In the building of the temple of God. You see, so we have to be made. We have to sanctify ourselves to be ready for the builder's use. You see, and not this other kind of building, that is determined by your physical. This is why they tell you, oh, go become a lawyer, a doctor, go get a great profession, and bring money. Because then they can build all these buildings, and what they're doing is they're rejecting the chief cornerstone of the true building of God. You see, so we must become a part of the true building of God. You see, and not a part of this other thing, that's going in parallel. You see, the Pharisees rejected Jesus Christ. You have to understand that. They read the same scriptures. They all read the same thing, but their eyes were dull. They could not see, they could not hear. That's why they rejected Jesus Christ, the Messiah. You see? And who found him? It's the foolish, the ones who appeared foolish, the ones who were poor, the ones who never really had much in the world to hold on to. That's why Jesus himself said, not many wise, mighty, and all these other things. God has chosen the foolish and despised. What does it mean to be foolish and despised in the world? That means that you can hold on to the wisdom, but you have to consider it foolishness. But this is very hard for most people. You see, because now the wisdom begins to become something in your eyes, because that's what you're told every day. We go around trying to save the world and save this, and we're progressing. We're not progressing. We're digressing. We're going very far away from God. If you look at people in our societies now, there's no spirit in there. It's all just a biology with the hormonal and chemical responses. I mean, stimuli and responses. So what is love? It's a chemical reaction. It's just this, and people, they use this and they go around and they think that this is what it really is, and you don't realize that you have nothing on the inside. You're nobody. You've become stone on the inside. The same stones that you're using to build your churches, that's what you've become. You're giving power, your spirit and your worship to those stones, those physical stones, instead of becoming the lively stone that Peter talked about. You see, we have to leave all these things behind. So you need to come out of all these things now. Not go and start. Then in Revelation, that's what they're doing. And then in Revelation chapter 3 verse 12, it says, "Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name." You see, guys, this whole thing, you can't understand it using human wisdom. You cannot. You'll end up rejecting Jesus Christ, and you'll end up building some other building that is a rejection, some other offering you'll be giving. You'll be building what what Esau or what Cain and all these people did. They look down on godly ways, you see, and they look down on godliness. See, so these guys who are preaching to you today, they've built these physical empires. This is the wisdom of the world, and the wisdom of the world must be rejected. See, this is the only way we can do things. In Luke chapter 21, verse 5, Luke 21 verse 5, it says, "And some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts. And he said, As for these things which ye behold, the days will come in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And the same thing, I mean, if you look at Matthew chapter 24, it's written in Matthew 24 as well. It's Matthew 24 verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. You see, so these things are clearly evident that, we should not be trusting in the wisdom of the world. We should not be trusting in what the world calls mighty and wise. And if we have any of those things that the world considers mighty and wise and beautiful and all these other kinds, it should be foolishness to you before God. You see, the thing is, according to the wisdom of the world, we're supposed to be building our own cities and our own kingdoms, and defending them and fighting physically and doing all these other kind of things. One of the temptations of Jesus Christ was, Satan told him, I'll give you all these kingdoms, if you fall down and worship me. Jesus refused. That was not the will of God. And neither is that the will of God for you. The will of God for you is to inherit eternity, which is the New Jerusalem. So all these other kind of things, there is no nation in this world, I have to say this, there is no nation in this world that can inherit the kingdom of heaven because of, the way it is. You have to come out of that nation, and you have to be a stranger and a pilgrim, and you need to be following, you need to put the nation of God above all these nations. See? So let me just take you to one last place. This is after Jesus healed Lazarus. In John 11:45 it says, Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them the things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council, and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. You see? So this is the thing, where is your place and where is your nation? Is your place and your nation like the Pharisees? You see, which was under bondage, or is your place and nation in Jesus Christ through the Spirit of God, where we inherit New Jerusalem?